Have you ever wondered what could lurk in the shadows of your own home? These unspoken fears take on a horrifying reality in the bone-chilling Turkish horror movie, Dabbe. This is not your typical ghost story. Dabbe plunges us into a world where the line between the natural and the supernatural is blurred, and the shadows in our homes could be teeming with unknown entities. Set against the backdrop of Istanbul, the film is a masterful blend of supernatural terror and Turkish folklore intertwined with elements of Islamic mythology. It's a tale that transcends cultural boundaries, ensnaring us in a web of fear and dread that transcends the mundane. Dabbe isn't just a movie, but an experience, an exploration into the deepest, darkest corners of our fears and the unsettling question of what could be lurking in our own homes. So, are you ready to face your fears? Step into the shadows with me as we explore the chilling narrative of Dabbe. In the bustling city of Istanbul, a nightmare begins to unfold. The bustling streets and vibrant bazaars of this ancient city become the backdrop for a tale of terror that defies understanding. At the heart of this nightmare is an ordinary family, the Ozpateks, who find their tranquil existence abruptly shattered by a series of unexplainable events. Life as they know it begins to warp into a chilling reality. The laughter of their children is replaced by cries of dread, the comfort of their home transformed into a haunted labyrinth. Unseen forces lurk in the shadows, their malevolent intentions as puzzling as they are terrifying. Every creak, every whisper, every flicker of light becomes a harbinger of horror, pushing the Ozpateks further into a vortex of fear. With each passing day, the sinister events escalate. A chilling wind whispers through their home, objects move of their own accord, and unseen hands leave eerie imprints on fogged-up windows. The family, once bound by love and trust, is strained to breaking point, their bonds tested by fear and desperation. In their search for answers, the Ozpateks turn to every possible source. They consult scientists and religious scholars, dabble in the paranormal, and even turn to the internet in a desperate quest for understanding. But with each dead end, their hope dwindles, replaced by a growing sense of dread. The sinister force that plagues their home is relentless, its hunger for fear insatiable. As the line between reality and nightmare blurs, the family's desperation reaches fever pitch. They find themselves at the mercy of an unseen tormentor, a malevolent force that seems to derive pleasure from their terror. And as they grapple with the unfolding horror, one thing becomes evident. This is not a mere haunting. This is a battle for their sanity, a fight for their very souls. As the terror escalates, the Ozpateks are driven to the edge of their sanity. Their once peaceful home is now a battlefield, a chilling stage for a sinister unfolding that threatens to consume everything they hold dear. In the heart of their torment lies an ancient, malevolent entity, Dabbe. This is not just a name but a synonym for fear, a manifestation of unadulterated terror that transcends the boundaries of our understanding. Rooted deeply in Turkish folklore and Islamic demonology, Dabbe is a spirit that thrives on the vulnerability of its victims, driving them to the brink of madness and despair. Picture an evil so profound that it can shatter the tranquility of an ordinary family, turning their world into a living nightmare. That's the power of Dabbe. It's not just a ghost or a demon, but a malevolent force that defies explanation, a dark shadow that feeds on fear and chaos. But what makes Dabbe truly terrifying is its insidious nature. It doesn't announce its arrival with a bang or a flash. Instead, it creeps in, slowly, silently, infecting the minds of its victims, sowing seeds of dread and despair. Before they even realize it, they're trapped in a web of terror, unable to escape the clutches of this ancient entity. The Ozpateks, an ordinary family, find themselves in the crosshairs of Dabbe. Their once peaceful existence is shattered as they become the latest victims of this malevolent force. The fear, the panic, the despair they experience is real, tangible. It's a chilling reminder of the power of Dabbe and the terror it instills in its victims. But Dabbe doesn't just prey on the vulnerable. It challenges our understanding of the world, pushing us to question the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural. The battle against Dabbe isn't just a fight for survival. It's a confrontation with our deepest fears and darkest nightmares. In the end, The Ozpetek's struggle against Dabbe is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Their courage in the face of unspeakable terror is a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. But it's also a chilling reminder of the power of fear and the devastating impact it can have on our lives. The battle against Dabbe is a chilling testament to the power of fear. The Ozpetek's journey is not just one of terror, but also of self-discovery. Indeed, as the malevolent force of Dabbe impinges upon their lives, the family is thrown into a whirlwind of uncertainty and fear. Yet within this vortex of terror, there lies an unexpected journey. A journey into the depths of their own souls, where they confront their deepest fears and darkest demons. At the heart of this journey is a struggle with skepticism. The Ozpeteks, once a family rooted in the realities of the physical world, are now forced to grapple with the supernatural. The lines between what is tangible and what is beyond comprehension begin to blur. They are caught in a tug-of-war between their rational minds and the eerie, inexplicable occurrences that shatter their peace. The fear that grips them is more than just a response to the external terror of Dabbe. It's a reflection of their internal turmoil, the fear of losing control, of being at the mercy of an unseen force. Each family member embarks on a personal odyssey, wrestling with their own skepticism and fear, forced to reconcile with the existence of a world beyond their understanding. As the story unfolds, we witness an evolution in the characters. They transform from victims of a sinister force to warriors in the face of it. They arm themselves with faith, courage, and a desperate drive for survival. The climax of their journey is a showdown with the malevolent spirit of Dabbe. Without giving too much away, let's just say it's a heart-pounding, breath-stealing encounter that will leave you on the edge of your seat. But the journey doesn't end with the confrontation. The scars of their ordeal, the lessons learned, and the fears confronted mold them. They are forever changed, forever marked by their encounter with the supernatural. Their journey will take them into the depths of their own psyche, where they must confront their deepest fears. And in doing so, they discover more about themselves than they ever knew. They realize that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not those that lurk in the shadows, but those that reside within us. The terror of Dabbe doesn't end when the credits roll. Indeed, the true horror of Dabbe is not confined to the screen, but rather, it seeps into our reality, leaving us questioning the boundaries of our own world. The film's unsettling narrative and nightmarish imagery create a lingering sense of dread that remains long after the final scene has faded from view. Dabbe does not merely aim to scare, but to unsettle, to disturb, and to provoke. It plunges us into a world where the line between the natural and the supernatural is blurred, where our deepest fears are manifested in the most horrifying ways, and where the safety of our reality is constantly under threat. More than a mere horror film, Dabbe is an exploration of the human psyche's darkest corners. It forces us to confront our own fears, our skepticism, and our beliefs. As we journey alongside the Ozpeteks, we share in their terror, their desperation, and their struggle for survival. The fear induced by Dabbe is not a fleeting sensation, but a lasting imprint on our minds. The horror experienced by the Ozpeteks becomes our own, and we are left with an eerie sense of unease that remains long after the film has ended. And perhaps that is the true terror of Dabbe. It is not the fear of the unknown or the fear of the supernatural, but the fear of our own vulnerability. It is the realization that our reality is not as secure as we thought, that our beliefs can be challenged, and that our fears can consume us. As the sinister events of Dabbe continue to haunt our thoughts, we are left questioning not just the events of the film, but our own reality. Could such a malevolent force exist in our world? Could we too fall victim to such a terrifying entity? The lingering terror of Dabbe is a chilling reminder of the power of fear and the fragility of our reality. As we leave the world of Dabbe, remember, once you've stepped into the shadows, they may never fully leave you. In the world of Dabbe, the boundaries between the natural and supernatural blur. As we revisit the harrowing tale of the Ozpeteks, we are reminded of the relentless battle for survival they faced against an ancient, malevolent entity. Through their fear and desperation, they confronted their skepticism, holding on to faith as their beacon in the midst of terror. Their journey was more than an encounter with the supernatural. It was a chilling exploration of human psyche and the lengths we go to protect our loved ones. The narrative masterfully weaves science, religion, and the paranormal, blurring the lines between what we know and what we fear. As we step out of the shadows and back into the light, remember, not all that lurks in the dark is simply a figment of the imagination. The chilling presence of Dabbe remains long after the credits roll, a haunting reminder of the eerie depths of fear and the supernatural.